All right, everybody. So this is a video of documenting my new gas blowback AK. This is a WE-Tech AKS 74 UN that I got used. All the parts that you see here are what was included. This was, I guess, significantly used, and I had already cleaned it up a little bit with mild dish soap. And so I just cleaned them up, and I just wanted to go over some of the parts that and the condition that they're in. The seller had sold it for a really good price, and it's probably because of the condition that it was in. Originally, it had some kind of layer of stuff all over the parts. It was like some kind of like super glue or something that was stuck on there, and I think you could probably see some of that on this hand grip right here. That white film, it's like a really hard film on there. So I want to kind of show, these are going to be before. This is a before video of all the parts. And it looked like someone had tried to remove the paint with paint remover on this. So I kind of scraped off what I could in cleaning it up. This is the main receiver, the trunnion and everything, and you could see the condition. And this is after I had cleaned it up. Before I cleaned it up, it was much dirtier. One thing with this receiver, it was supposed to come with a guide right here on the side, and the seller, I think, had originally taken it off, and when they did that, they did not change the screws that went into the receiver. So you can see those two screws right there. Let me see if I can point to it right there that are sticking up. That's not supposed to be like that. They're actually supposed to be flush with the receiver, like the other two screws on the other side that hold the magazine catch in place. And what that did was it created a little bow in the frame, because the trigger piece was actually pushing down on it. And it made this part right here bend, so I had to kind of bang that back in so that it was straight. The other thing was also the mag catch was sideways, so I fixed that already. And this is the trigger housing that houses all the trigger components. But yeah, this is the receiver, the main receiver, and you can see where I took off that coating that was in there, and you can see the condition that it's in. This has a folding adapter, so it doesn't have the original stock on it. It has an aftermarket stock, which I think replicates a Zenitco piece. So you can see that right there. Right there. That's the receiver. Okay. And I just want to preface this by saying that I bought this used, and if you're not, I guess, skilled in restoring things, I would not suggest buying used unless you know what you're doing. So I already knew what I was getting into when I bought this, and the price was just too hard to pass up on it. Okay, so all of these pieces came with it. Here's the barrel itself. You can see there's some tarnishing on it, so this will have to be polished out. And you'll see the outer barrel Got a little bit of rust spots here, which will be taken care of. Okay, the hop-up's right there. There's the bolt. So right now they're cleaned up, but they're still in pretty rough shape. I'll be taking care of that soon. I do have all the pieces. The only thing I actually will have to replace is the firing pin. So you can see that there's a piece broken off right there. So I'm gonna have to change that one out. And I don't know if the magazine actually works yet. More than likely with these magazines, the one thing that'll cause it to leak is if you have bad O-rings, or if the cap on them is leaking, which it's not too hard to fix. Here's the stock. The stock actually came in really good shape. So this is an aftermarket replica stock that it came with there. The gas tube looks to be in pretty good shape. This is the charging handle cover, came with it. And this is the catch for the stock. This was actually really coated in that super glue-like substance, so I took that off. It looked a lot worse than this. I wish I should have gotten some pictures of that before I cleaned it up. The selector plate looks pretty in good shape, except for that little piece of rust right there. Recoil guide, again, it's just a little bit of surface rust. Not a big deal. I'll be cleaning that up, showing you guys what it'll look like when I'm done. This right here is the pistol grip screw. So that's, yeah, some significant surface rust on that. Came with this 14mm counterclockwise silencer. Don't know if I really want to use this. It's kind of heavy, so it's got some weight to it. I would say at least probably 1.5 pounds, maybe 2 pounds. Here's the front sight post gas block. So you can see I've cleaned it up, but I'm going to refinish all these parts right here. And this is the little spring and a pin that goes into the front dust cover, or top dust cover. Here's the trigger. So you can see I'm going to refinish most of this and do a little bit of polishing, and then of course I got a bunch of miscellaneous parts in there that are going to be replaced, as well as the hop-up pieces that are in here. These are all from the same gun. I just put them in this bag so I don't lose the little pieces that are in there. A recoiled spring right here, not too bad. It just needs to be cleaned up a little bit. And I think this is the top cover right here. I'm thankful because usually on these this piece will be broken off, but that will be rectified. Well, it doesn't need to be rectified, it's already good. But yeah, you can see some of that stuff that was rendered on it. This is actually cleaned up, but I could still scrape a little bit off of there. There was a lot thicker stuff that this thing was covered in on the inside. Now, to the seller, I want to say thank you, because I think the price I paid was a really good deal on this, even though it was in this condition. But with all things, they can be rectified with the proper restoration techniques. So what I'm probably going to do with this, I'm probably going to add a couple washers in here to get it so that these screws right here will be flush instead of sticking into the receiver, so that won't cause any problems. Yeah, if it does that, I'm guessing that the seller probably had some problems with recoil as well as gas leaking out, because what that'll do is it'll put tension and it'll actually cause the magazine to kind of sit lower, and that piece right there where your gas comes out, this needs to be as flush with the bolt as possible in order to keep as much gas in there when it's expending it into the system as possible. So I would imagine that this gun had some problems with that, and maybe they put that super glue stuff because they thought that maybe it needed to be held together. No, it was because they took off that side piece on there, and that it caused this to actually bow a little bit. So now I had straightened it up, so now it sits flush and flat the way it should be. Okay, and I don't know if I'm gonna do a two-part video on this or just a one part, but I just wanted to give you guys an idea of the kind of airsoft replicas that I buy, with knowing what I know about certain things. So that's basically the inventory of the parts that I'm going to be using. And here's some other miscellaneous pieces and springs that go into the trigger unit. So that's it. That's a used WE-Tech AKS 74 UN, and I will probably make a video on it once I get all the pieces cleaned up even more and painted or whatnot. So this right here is actually a blued steel receiver. This is blued, this is painted. So I was thinking maybe I was gonna blue this also, but no, I think I'm gonna probably just paint it with some appliance paint and bake it so the paint gets baked into the metal itself. And I'm probably gonna have to smooth this out a little bit before painting this piece right here. I can't remove this because it's riveted in. Well, I can, but I don't want to. It's kind of a pain in the butt. And I think that's it. So there it is. WE-Tech AKS 74 UN gas blowback used piece. And just want to say thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next video on the progression of this, I guess, reassembly. Not really a build, but more of a disassembly and reassembly of parts that are already there. So, yep, that's it. So, God bless you. God bless America. And God bless the troops. Amen.